What is up, YouTube? Hello, Party Parrots. Today is patch day in Marvel Snap, which means not only did we get two brand new cards and a brand new What If season for Marvel Snap, so if you guys are looking for decks featuring those new cards, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be posting a ton of content this month. Don't want you guys to miss it. But we also got data mines for the month of June and all of the new cards coming. And quick little disclaimer, these are data mines, which means all of these cards could change before they actually come to the game, but it gives us a good idea of what cards are coming and a good idea of what their abilities will be. Sometimes they change around a point of power too. Sometimes they're completely reworked. Sometimes they're completely changed cards altogether. But I know that this specific season is one that is going to make a lot of people very happy. It is a mystic season featuring one of the most hyped cards. I think one of the cards people have been excited for more than any with Dormamu, who we're going to cover after our season pass card here. But let's break down this season pass card, Merlin, and he looks incredibly unique. And I know there are a lot of Merlin fans out there, so let's actually break down what he does. So we have Merlin coming to the game, data mine to be the season pass card, and he is such a unique effect. I love what they're doing with these kind of magic users. He is a 2/3 with the ability at the start of each turn add a wizardly incantation to your hand. So obviously we're going to break down what they are. We have three right now. We'll see if it stays at three. They look really unique and really cool, but I think kind of get a good idea of what this means, right? This is somewhere in between Agamotto and Kate Bishop, right? And what I mean by that is Kate Bishop is a card, she has four chances. You play her down and you get two of them. And you know what you are, and you can kind of figure out how you want to play those as the game goes. And Agamotto shuffles, four cards into your deck, but you have no idea if you're going to draw them. It makes your deck a little bit less consistent, but because of those skills, they're called, they're not technically characters, they are skills, have very high power levels. And Merlin's going to be somewhere in between, where it's not like Kate Bishop where you're going to get those cards right away, or even the new Infinity Ultron that's dropping this month. But this is going to come at the start of each turn. So obviously, if you play this on like turn 6, it's not going to give you anything. But if you play it on turn 2, that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're going to get four of these wizardly incantations. Now, are they going to be the ones you want? You can't even really plan around which one. Right now, if there's three, you're like, okay, I can have a 1 in 3 chance of getting any one. So, just a good thing to keep in mind that it's not going to be quite as inconsistent as Agamotto, but you're also not going to be able to pre-plan around it as much as like Kate Bishop. So, what do these wizardly incantations actually do? Sorry, I did have to turn off my camera just so the screen wasn't too cluttered. You guys could actually see what these wizardly incantations are and why I'm giving Merlin 4 stars. So, first of all of them seem to be skills, just like Agamotto's. You play them, they do their effect, and then they are banished. And that we'll see if they all right now they're all one drops. That could just be a data mine thing. I could see some of these going up to like 2, maybe even 3 costs. We could also get more of them. There could also be something where you can't get the same one more than once. But if you can, some of these seem pretty amazing to get in multiples. So starting off, we have Omniversal Presence, a 1 cost that has on reveal replace this location with a new one and give Merlin +2 power. I think this is like a reality stone that can give you, +2 power to your 2/3 that you will already have in play. So that will make him a 2/5 for just one more energy. That's pretty insane, especially with that reality stone rider. And what I really like is, let's say if you have Merlin, and obviously we don't know, this isn't confirmed, these are data mines, but let's say you just got Omniversal Presence like every turn, right? You could have a 2/5, then a 2/7, then a 2/9, just for one energy, and get that reality stone, switch around some locations you might not like. Really like what's going on here. Then we have Once and Future. This one's really interesting. It has on reveal, shuffle your lowest power other card here into your deck to get +2 energy next turn. This is a very unique effect. It obviously has some synergies with cards like Hood or like the Sentry, getting rid of that void. or even like debris. You could shuffle a rock away, or you could even potentially like shuffle debris away because it's shuffle into your deck, which means you could draw them again. If you played like the hood, then you played Merlin, then you got this, shuffled that hood away, next turn draw the hood. You know, maybe get another one of these, shuffle it away again. There's a lot of potential here. So I really like debris, and especially with the next wizardly incantation too. These are reasons why I think these kind of cheap cards that give you value and then you can dispose of the body as to so to speak could be really good with Merlin. One thing that I don't like about this one though is if you think about it, Merlin has to come down. Then on the next turn you have to actually get one of these and then you have to like have a body for it. So it seems like a lot of setup that can be maybe hard to do all at once, but with our next wizardly incantation, you'll see why I think there's a bit of a theme here. That is Polymorph. Polymorph, also data mine to be a 1 cost, has on reveal transform your lowest power other card here into one that costs 2 more. So this is kind of like a Cersei, but instead of going 1 higher, it goes 2 higher. And just like Cersei, I think that it can be very powerful if you build around it, right? Again, think Sentry, think the Hood, and with 2 different ways to kind of get rid of these, I see a lot of potential there. I also kind of like Merlin with Erishim. Erishim's always looking for kind of guaranteed ways to make good use of his energy, right? That's why cards like Agent Coulson and Valentina have always had a very good home with Erishim. So I can see him, if you play Merlin on 2 and then get a polymorph, if you have like a get a shocker, you can play shocker, polymorph that into a 4 cost. You are already getting random cards and stuff. Can help you deal with, some ones that might not be great for you. So right now I think he's a 4 drop or a 4-star card. I'm really excited for it. I think there's going to be a lot to build around him. And we'll see if this how he releases. I can definitely see him with cards like the Hood or the Sentry, Erishim, and if we get even more of these wizardly incantations, then who knows what we can build. Oh lordy, he is coming. Yes, we finally have Dormamu, data mine to be coming to the game, and for a card as awesome as hyped as Dormamu, he had to have a pretty amazing uh text box, and I think he does. Uh First of all, I want to just get this out of the way. Again, this is all data mines, and you'll see exactly why, because this is an effect unlike we've ever seen before. He is a 7/10 with the game start ability, begin a summoning ritual. Add the first step to your hand. So we're going to break down what these are. They seem to be skills like the wizardly incantations, like the Agamotto's skills, that he'll basically put one into your hand to start, and otherwise he's going to be a 7/10 that I'm guessing once you've completed all 3 of these rituals will basically put him uh onto the battlefield. It says on the third one, summon Dormammu here. So how do you do him? What is he actually going to synergize with? There's a lot to break down with this card. So let's break down what these summoning rituals are. And yes, this is kind of an insane effect. I gave him 5 stars, and you're going to see why. I think this is absolutely a build around card. This is a card that you're going to build your whole deck around because remember, you are going to be game starting this first skill into your hand. What is it? It costs 0. It's called Ritual 1 right now, and it's merge your highest power destroyed card with Dormammu. You continue the ritual. Now, we'll see if you need to have a destroyed card. But it's really important to note that I think that this effect kind of operates unlike any other because I think you're going to want to destroy like a good card. We really haven't had anything. We've had, Fire Hair, Misery that want you to destroy like good on reveals. We've had Destroy want you to destroy like Wolverines and stuff. But you actually want to have like a solid card just destroyed, right? In your thing. Now, will you actually again need that destroyed card? It's unclear, but it is free. This first ritual should be free. I'm guessing you're going to need something in your destroyed pile. So, maybe you carnage a Fastos, maybe you carnage a copycat, and then get merge that into your Dormammu. And then I assume that means that it will put Ritual 2 into your hand. What is Ritual 2? Well, it costs 1, so again, really cheap rituals. and has on reveal, Dormammu steals one power from each other card here to continue the ritual, then banish this. So this is going to steal a power from, if you get in a location, maybe your opponent plays like Iron Patriot there, and then tries to, throw a Gladiator, so, two cards, that'll steal two power from your opponent's cards, give it to Dormammu. So obviously then, how do we get Dormammu into play? Well, for the final ritual, it is a 3 cost with on reveal, destroy 2 of your other cards here to summon Dormammu. And yes, this will be the Dormammu that has stolen power, that has merged with your highest powered destroy card. And it only costs 3 to actually bring him out. However, as you can see looking at this, this requires a lot of setup. You're probably going to need a card be destroyed. You're going to need 2 other cards that you can destroy to bring out Dormammu. So what's going to work well with him? Well, a card like Firehair might synergize well, right? You might have something like, oh, like a Hood and a Bucky Barnes in a lane, and then you destroy those to bring out Dormammu. You're not going to want to destroy like a Darkhawk and a Rock Slide. You might want to merge one of those into him, but probably not just destroy those. So Firehair could work. Bucky Barnes, maybe even Uncle Ben. It is. I love these. I love cards like these that make you just think, okay, this is a super powerful effect, but I am really going to have to completely change how I think about Marvel Snap deck building to, you know, consider this card to put in there, and I think it'll probably be worth it. I really like that kind of 7-10 stat line. We'll see, maybe it goes a little bit higher stats, but I think that 7 stat line because yes, you could just cheat him out, right? But he has a built-in way to play him, right? Most decks don't have 7 energy. Obviously, you could just play Magic, or you could play Wave, or a Psylocke or something. But if you want to, he's going to put this in your hand, and if you build your deck around it, you can on turn 3, if you found a way to destroy something turn 1 or on turn 3, on turn 4, or you can play this in conjecture with like another 3-drop on turn 6 to bring out this giant Dormammu merged with the other thing, get that effect as well. It'll probably be bigger than 10 power because of that steal effect and play something else. So I love this. I think this is by far the coolest card in the data mines. I had to cover it first, but that's not all. We have more cards coming, including some really exciting ones. And data mining becoming that same week as Merlin, first week of June, we have Morgan Le Fay, and she has a very unique ability. She is a 4/5 with the on reveal, return all your discarded and destroyed cards to hand with +3 power. So let's break down this card right. A 4/5 stat line is not amazing by any means, but an on reveal of returning all bunch of cards to your hand with +3 power is kind of insane. But I had to give her 2 stars because there aren't a lot of decks that just have a lot of cards discarded or destroyed, even like going into turn 4. Like, yes, Modoc exists, and yes, like Hela wants to discard a lot of cards, but like you're usually not carnaging a lot of cards that you would want to get back with +3 power. And I think it's really important to note that she doesn't work with things like Wolverine or X-23. She doesn't work with like Scorn because when you play her, those cards go back to your hand. They don't actually die. So they won't go back to your hand with +3 power. Now, she would work with Swarm, so I think there's a little bit of a synergy there. And I think the one place I actually do like her is in potentially like Misery, Killmonger decks where you play like you're planning on, playing like a Nico into a Hood and then Killmongering and then Firehair, Killmongering them, getting a ton of Nico Iceman triggers, getting a ton of demons to your hand, and then you play Morgan, get those back to your hand, give them a ton of power. There might be something in that kind of fire hair Killmonger, but otherwise, I mean, it's a really, really powerful effect. I may be underrating it because, I mean, +3 power is so much. If you can give it to 2 or 3 cards, like 3 cards, this is a 4/14. That is solid stats, but yeah, I don't know if we really just have the enablers or cards in Marvel Snap right now. I think this is a card that could potentially get a lot better though as we get more cards. And then we have the Ancient One, who's a character that I have been excited for to come to the game for a while. and she does not disappoint. I'm giving her 4.5 stars. She is a 3/5, so really good stat line. We've seen 3/5s like Copycat, Nocturne had to be nerfed. See a lot of play. Surtur has gone through how many changes? With the on reveal, add a Tau Mandala to your hand. What is a Tau Mandala? It is a 3/0 with the on reveal. Your characters here copy the text of one of your ongoing cards here. So let's actually break down what's happening here, right? And it's a 3/0. It's a skill, so it'll go away once used. And I think it's really good when looking at this card is to kind of see how is it compared to Mystique, right? Mystique's a 3/0 that'll copy the last effect of an ongoing. And if you have one ongoing in a lane, if you look at like the synergies I have above my head, we have like the Claw or Blue Marvel. If you just have one of those in a lane by itself, this is not going to do anything, obviously. It needs at least one other card. With one other card there, this is essentially a Mystique that you don't have to, it's not going to be the last card that you copied. It'll just copy, the text of one of your ongoing cards here. If you have two, you can't have three because obviously you need a space to play this. But if you have two, then this is like a double Mystique. And I think it's really important to note that this says copy the text of one of your ongoing cards here, not replace. We've seen that, right? So if you have like Iron Man and Moonstone and like Captain America in a lane, and then you play this, that would, if it copied Iron Man onto all of them, then all of them would be Iron Man and Captain America and Iron Man and Moonstone. And I think then Moonstone would then copy the Iron Man from the Captain America, right? Like you can build some absolutely nutty stuff. Is this enough to bring like the Living Tribunal back? Maybe. Again, there's no way to pick it. It's just your characters here copy the text of one of them, right? So it's going to pick it at random. And I think it's also really important to note that one, it's random, but two, you need cards there, but you also need them all to be kind of good, right? Like Moonstone with Captain America or Speed and like Iron Man or Blue Marvel probably will be good enough. But if you have like Ravonna Renslayer in that lane, well, suddenly, because you're playing an ongoing deck, which this seems like it could be right at home with, well, suddenly it's like, you don't want to copy the Ravonna Renslayer ability. So I could maybe see this with like just like Miss Marvel. We've seen Miss Marvel have a bit of a comeback in just some good stuff decks where like you play the ancient one and then you get this, and then if you give even one more card that Miss Marvel ability, if you give one more card like a Blue Marvel, then it's really, really solid. And obviously you can get some nutty plays with two more cards. But I think this card is also really saved by the ancient one's 3/5 stat line. Because again, we've seen 3/5s absolutely wreck the meta before. Now, is a 3/5 that makes a 3/0 that's highly dependable going to be one of those? I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential here. We'll see how it actually releases and what actual deck wants this effect. But then what deck doesn't want this effect on a 3/5 body? It's going to be really interesting. I'm really excited for the ancient one. Coming next in Spotlight Caches, and we'll see with Snap Pass or Snap Packs coming how these cards actually end up releasing. Things are kind of up in the air depending on when we actually get that update. It seems like Second Dinner doesn't even know, but assuming things are as they are today, because it's kind of hard to base around something that hasn't released yet. So. Also, though, scheduled to come is Nightmare, and this is a card I originally thought was terrible. He is a 2/2 with the on reveal. Replace the text of each card in your hand with that of a random card that costs the same amount. And my first impression was, why would I ever want to do that? Why would I want, like, what am I going to turn an Iron Man into like a Claw? Like, I would rather have Claw. I would rather just have these cards. But obviously, then I started thinking about it and realized that this is the opposite of like the Ravonna, the Circes that take these terrible bodies, good effects. These take great effects and or great bodies and terrible effects and give them whole new effects. Cards like the Infinite. This can turn the Infinite into a 620 onslaught. That is pretty insane. This can take, think Starbrand and make it a 310 copycat or a 310 nocturne, just absolutely crazy things. So that's why I have Sauron in as like a potential synergy because Typhoid Marys, all these cards, you play Nightmare, you replace those cards. Ebony Maw, if Ebony Maw goes into a 1/7 Ant-Man, suddenly now we're talking. Now, obviously not every deck can do that. So that's why I don't think it's going to be the most versatile. Power level though, I think we'll see. I think there's a chance that this could have a really like a real home in a top deck. Will it be the best deck? I could see them not wanting, 620 Ultron to be the best deck, so probably won't be like the best deck, and if it is, I could definitely see it getting a nerf. But I think that there's a home for this. If you like Sauron, if you like the War Machine, Infinite, Ebony Maw decks, if you like those kind of finding ways to play around the Surtur decks with like Atuma and Typhoid Mary, like if you like those kind of things, I think Nightmare is a really cool and potentially really powerful way to play those. So I'm going to be excited for him. Definitely, I think a lot better than Might First Read. For our final Series 5 card, but not our final card, we still have three more cards to spoil. All data mine to be coming into Series 4. We have Clea. And besides Dormammu, this might be my favorite card of the entire season. She is a 1/1 with the ability after this card permanently gains power, add a Flames of the Faultine to your hand if it's in hand or play. What is Flames of the Faultine? It's just a one cost spell that afflicts something with -2 power. And I just love this is such a cool card to me. I again, just like Dormammu, I like cards that really want you to kind of build around them to give you this reward. Now, as a 1/1 that you have to be buffing, could die to Killmonger, and the Flames of the Faultine just being like one drops that give -2 power, not even like -3 like an acid arrow. Just I don't know if the power is there, but I think there is a card coming in Series 4 that could synergize really well with this. And it could, hand buff has been kind of on the fringes, playing like a Koye and, you know, Namora decks that if you can really weave these in, or if they made them free, I think this card's it's missing something, but I love what it's trying to do. Just giving you this really cool reward card. Now, one thing that I think is going to be the case, kind of no matter how you slice it, is you're going to want to be buffing this card as much as possible. You're going to want to like forge into this, into, getting like a Namora down, or like playing this after a Galacta. But yeah, I'm not sure the power is here as written, but there's still plenty of time to make some slight changes. And again, just really cool effect. I'm going to be building around this. Absolutely. No questions asked. So our first card data mine to be coming to Series 4, probably Snap Packs, maybe like a game mode. Again, we'll have to see once Snap Packs actually drop. We have, though, Nicholas Scratch, and it's been hard to talk about some of these cards without him because I think he is a huge boost to a lot of cards releasing this season. He is a 1/2 with the effect after you play a skill +1 power. So keep in mind again Merlin, Agamotto, Clea, Dormamu, all of these cards put skills in your hand. Skills are stuff, not characters. Characters stay on the board, skills get banished after. And just a 1/2 that every time you play one of these things, if you play the Winds of Watum, now it's a 1/3. If you're playing Merlin and you play, even two of his wizardly incantations, now after that Winds of Watum, now he's a 1/5. I mean, he's not crazy stats, but if you can like put some of these together, I think he could be glue for a real deck. And cards like Clea, if those Flames of Faultine end up being strong, you could play like this on one, get Clea out, start buffing your Clea, get a bunch of these Flames on the last turn, afflict all this negative power, buff up your Nicholas Scratch. Maybe you're doing it with like a Hazmat synergy. It feels like there's definitely something here. I really like this take, giving skills kind of enabler. I hope we see something like that for Activate because right now I think he has a lot of potential. Definitely going to be the glue for a lot of decks. And then we have coming Astral Projection. It is a 3/0 with the on reveal ability. Copy the text of an on reveal card in your hand. Now, right now, this card is not data mined to be a skill, right? It will not banish itself. This is an actual card that you'll put into your deck right now. And I think that that's kind of really interesting, right? there's a lot going on here. I think more than people might be giving it credit for. Like, yeah, obviously you're not going to try to combo this with like Galactus or, because it's not going to go off, right? It has zero power. But if you play this on turn three, copy like Gwenpool, and then you play Gwenpool on turn four, and then like Sarah on turn five, like that's already something that people are kind of doing, right? Like you can use this to copy like Enchantress or Shang-Chi on the last turn if you're playing one of those decks. It also has some kind of combo potential, right? Perhaps with discard. You might just want to play this in a discard deck and then like play it on turn three, copy the Modoc, get that extra Modoc going, you know, starting then. With Ravona, it can go down to a 2 cost if you're playing like a Ravona y kind of mid rangey deck. Khonshu is another card. Like if you discard your Khonshu twice in, let's say, that Modoc deck, and then you draw this on turn three, like you could play this for three and it will still have that on reveal, copy the Khonshu text, get that reanimate something with 12 power, and you can play like another 3 drop and you can kind of pick points there. I gave it 2.5 stars. Obviously, zero power is not a lot, but there are a lot of good on reveals, and we're kind of only getting more. Like, if you think about it, even what 6 months ago, Khonshu wouldn't have been in it. Gwenpool wouldn't have been it. Like, these would not have been cards that we're talking about. But if we're getting these good on reveals, I think Astral Projection could find a home. Definitely could. It's a very unique effect. Very cool too. And finally, our last card before we break down one card from the previous month that got a pretty huge change. We have Jennifer Kale. She is a 2/2 with the activate ability of next turn you get +1 energy. And I mean, I gave this 1.5 stars. I don't think it's very good. We already have Psylocke in the game. Like it's not going to help you because it's activate. You have to play it on two, and then you aren't going to ramp you up to a 4 drop on turn three. So that's no Doom 2099, no Mr. Negative, no Galacta that you're ramping into. You can ramp like a 5 drop on turn four, but there's already, Luna Snow, Wave. I mean, you can just play Psylocke on turn three to do that. And yeah, you could get like a 6 drop on turn four, right? Like you play this on turn two, and then you play Psylocke or Luna Snow or something. But like Wave already does that. Like we kind of already have the cards here. Maybe I'm really underestimating that +1 energy, but kind of an activate delayed +1 energy. I'm sure there will be some kind of cute, crazy combo where you manage to like play this on two and then wave, and you can play like Modoc and Hela on the same turn, or some dumb broken combo like that that'll happen 1 out of every 20 games. But for actual power level, I mean, I think it's a fun card. It's cool to have it in the game. I'm sure there will be a deck or two you'll see in some, weekend roundup decks of the meta decks where someone's playing her and it's doing pretty well. But I don't see her being a meta threat or really doing anything that other cards aren't doing. But that's going to do it for these new cards. Let's break down one card from last season that got a pretty huge so we have Elixir, who was originally data mined last month to be a 1/1 with the activate ability of the next time one of your cards is destroyed this turn, revive it here. Now it is a 2/3 with the on reveal. One of your cards destroyed last turn gets revived here. And this is actually, I think, a pretty sizable change. It doesn't change like what the card's doing, but how you actually have to think about it. Instead of being like you play it early and then you can activate it, on your Venom turn to get back the Nimrod that you destroyed or that you had shuried, or you activate it on the same turn that you know, play like a destroyer, something crazy. Now you have to destroy the cards and then you play it after. And I think it actually probably gets a little worse with this effect. So don't love this change, honestly. I kind of liked it as a 1/1 with an activate, but still, I think it'll have similar homes. And let's break down the data mines. Let me show you guys the data mines that are supposed to be coming for Spotlight caches. And again, I get all of my information from Snap.fan for the data mines. If you guys are looking for where I get this from, or you want to look at it yourself, Snap.fan. Uh, Again, we have that first week. We have Morgan Le Fay, Gore the God Butcher, and Luna Snow. I think this probably the weakest card in here is Morgan Le Fay, honestly. Luna Snow, I think, actually got a lot better with that 3/6 power. I've been seeing her more. I've been playing her more. We have the Ancient One coming with Victoria Hand and Moonstone. I think this is a phenomenal Spotlight cache to open because both Moonstone and Victoria Hand I could see working really well with the Ancient One. And then Nightmare, Anti-Venom, and Kate Bishop. Again, I think this is going to be a really good week to open. Both Anti-Venom and Hawkeye Kate Bishop are really, really good cards that see a lot of play. And then we have Clea, Penny Parker, and Scarlet Spider. This one I think is a bit weaker. I like Penny Parker, I like Scarlet Spider, but they're by no means meta powerhouses. And Clea, we'll kind of have to wait and see. And then the week after we have Dormammu coming with I know Fenris Wolf. So I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to get Dormammu. So that is going to do it for this breakdown of the season. Let me know, what cards are you excited? Are you as excited for the Sorcerer Supreme season as I am? How pumped are you for Dormammu coming? Are you bummed about the Kid Omega change? Let me know in the comments down below. And remember, hit that subscribe button because I have a ton of new videos for this new season coming. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.